Money is interesting.
In what way?
It is one of the things people think about most and talk about least.
Because it feels personal.
It feels tied to worth, to success, to how well you're doing in life.
And in English, there is an interesting thing that happens with money conversations.
People talk about it sideways.
Not directly, not the numbers, but the relationship with it.
The habits, the mistakes, the things they're trying to do better.
And those conversations, when they happen honestly,
Are some of the most connecting conversations there are.
because almost everyone is figuring out money as they go.
Almost everyone has made mistakes, has overspent, has wished they'd started saving earlier.
And almost nobody talks about it.
Today, you will.
Welcome to English the Natural Way.
I'm Sharon.
And I'm Sulafat. And today we are going into one of the most practical and most personal conversation topics in English.
Money, saving, spending, the complicated feelings most people have about both.
Not the numbers, the conversation.
Let's go. Section 1. How English speakers actually talk about money. First, an important cultural note.
In many English-speaking cultures, asking someone directly how much they earn is considered quite personal, almost rude.
So money conversations tend to happen around the edges.
People talk about how they relate to money, their habits, their mistakes, their goals.
Not, I earn this much, but I've been really trying to get better at saving.
Not, that cost this much, but that was more than I expected. I had to think about it.
The feeling, the relationship, the journey.
That's where English money conversations live.
And today, that's where we live too. Subscribe to English the Natural Way. English for every real conversation. Section 2. The vocabulary of money and saving. Let's build the vocabulary because most learners only know a small set of money words.
For talking about spending,
For instead of, I spend a lot of money,
you tend to overspend, spend more than you intended or can afford.
I have a habit of impulse buying. Impulse buying, buying things without planning or thinking.
I'm quite frivolous with money sometimes. Frivolous, not serious, spending on things that aren't necessary.
I'm a bit of a sucker for a good deal. Sucker for, easily tempted by, even if the deal leads to spending more.
I find it hard to say no to myself. Honest, self-aware, very relatable.
Instead of, I save money,
I've been trying to put money aside each month. Put aside, save regularly.
I'm working on building up an emergency fund. Emergency fund, money saved specifically for unexpected events.
I've started setting savings goals, specific targets rather than vague intentions.
I'm trying to be more mindful about where my money goes. Mindful, conscious, and aware.
I've been tracking my spending, which has been eye-opening. Eye-opening, revealing something you didn't know or expect.
For talking about the relationship with money.
I have a complicated relationship with money. Not bad, not good, complex.
I grew up not having a lot, so I'm either very careful or I overcompensate. Honest about how background shapes behavior.
Money stresses me out more than I'd like to admit.
I'm getting better at it, but it's been a journey.
I wish I'd started thinking about this earlier.
That last one, I wish I'd started thinking about this earlier. Almost everyone who is honest about money says this.
At some point.
At some point. Section 3. Key money phrases you need to know. Let's go through the essential money vocabulary and phrases, the ones that come up in real English conversations.
Living within your means. Spending no more than you earn.
I've been trying to live within my means more consistently.
Make ends meet. Have enough money to cover basic needs.
There were months when I was really struggling to make ends meet.
Stretch your budget. Make limited money cover more.
I've learned a few tricks to stretch my budget at the end of the month.
Cut back on. Reduce spending in a specific area.
I've cut back on eating out, which has made a real difference.
Tighten your belt. Spend less overall during a difficult period.
We had to tighten our belts for a while when I changed jobs.
Splurge on. Spend more than usual on something special.
I try to save in most areas so I can splurge on the things I really care about.
Set money aside. Save a specific amount regularly.
I try to set money aside before I do anything else with my paycheck.
Financial goals. Specific targets for your money.
I've been working on my financial goals this year. It's more motivating than I expected.
Treat yourself. Spend on something enjoyable without guilt.
I try to be disciplined most of the time, so when I do treat myself, it feels good.
Value for money. Whether something is worth what it costs.
I think a lot about value for money now, not just price.
Quick challenge. Think of one area where you tend to overspend. Build one honest sentence about it using, I tend to overspend on, and I think it's because...
The because is important, not just the habit, the reason behind it. Section 4. 5 real conversations about money and saving. Situation 1. Friend mentions they've started budgeting.
I've actually started tracking everything I spend. It's been a bit of a wake-up call.
Natural response and answer if asked.
That's something I keep meaning to do and keep avoiding. I think because I'm a bit afraid of what I'll find. I have a rough idea of where my money goes, but I suspect the reality is worse than I think. Did it take long to get into the habit? And was it as bad as you feared?
What made that work?
Honest about avoidance, keep meaning to, keep avoiding. Honest about fear, afraid of what I'll find. Relatable uncertainty, suspect the reality is worse than I think. And 2 genuinely curious questions about their experience.
Afraid of what I'll find. That's exactly how most people feel about tracking their spending.
And saying it out loud, immediately, creates connection.
Situation 2. New friend. Conversation about city life and costs.
This city is so expensive. How do you manage?
A weak answer, I am careful with money. Natural answer, honestly, it took me a while to figure out. When I first moved here, I was terrible with money. I think the excitement of a new place made me spend without thinking. I've cut back on a lot of the little things that add up without you noticing. Coffee every morning, lunches out, subscriptions I'd forgotten about. Once I actually looked at it, I found quite a few places to trim without it really affecting my quality of life. The big one for me was meal prepping. It sounds very organized, but it saved me a surprising amount.
What made that resonate?
Honest starting point was terrible with money, context for why, excitement of a new place, specific changes, coffee, lunches, subscriptions I'd forgotten about, everyone has these, the quality of life distinction, trim without affecting it, and a specific example, meal prepping with honest self-deprecation.
Subscriptions I'd forgotten about. Say that to anyone and watch them immediately think of 3.
Because everyone has them. The gym app, the streaming service from 3 years ago, the meditation app they opened twice.
Situation 3. Colleague mentions they're trying to save for something.
I'm trying to save for a deposit on a flat. It feels impossible.
Natural response.
I know that feeling. I went through something similar a few years ago. The thing that helped me most was treating my savings like a bill, something that comes first before I have a chance to spend it. I set up an automatic transfer for the day after I get paid. That way, I never see the money and I don't miss it as much. It took a while to adjust, but eventually you just live on what's left. It's slow, but it adds up more than you'd think.
What made that work?
Empathy first, I know that feeling. Personal experience, went through something similar. Specific strategy, treat your savings like a bill. Automatic transfer. The psychology explained, never see it, don't miss it. And honesty about the process, slow but adds up.
Treat your savings like a bill. That one piece of advice, said naturally in a conversation, genuinely changes how people think.
Not a lecture, just a thing that worked for someone, shared honestly.
Situation 4. Date. They mention they're quite spontaneous with money. They'd rather experience things than save. They ask where you stand.
Natural answer. I think I used to be more like that, honestly. I spent a lot of my 20s doing whatever I felt like financially and not thinking very far ahead. I've become more intentional about it as I've got older, not in a joyless way. I still absolutely splurge on things that matter to me, but I've tried to be clearer about what I actually value versus what I just buy because it's there. I'd rather spend a lot on one trip I've really wanted than a lot of small things that don't add up to much. Does that sound very boring?
What made that brilliant?
Honest about the past. Spent my 20s doing whatever I felt like. Growth shown. More intentional as I've got older. Important distinction. Not joyless, still splurge. Clear values. What I actually value versus what I just buy because it's there. The travel example, concrete and vivid, and the self-aware, humorous question at the end.
What I actually value versus what I just buy because it's there.
That distinction between intentional spending and automatic spending is one of the most important money insights a person can have.
And saying it naturally in a conversation shows real self-awareness.
Situation 5. Parent or older relative gives unsolicited money advice.
They say, "You should be saving more at your age. I worry about you."
Natural answer. I know you're right, and I appreciate that you say it. I think about it more than it might look like from the outside. I've been trying to get better at it. I've started putting a little aside each month, which feels small, but it's more than I was doing before. I think I needed to understand why I was doing it, not just be told to. Once I set an actual goal, it became more real. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm heading in that direction. Thank you for caring about it.
What made that work?
Acknowledged without being defensive. I know you're right. Honest about internal reality. Think about it more than it looks like. Named the actual change, putting aside each month. Honest about it feeling small. Key insight, needed to understand the why. And genuine gratitude, thank you for caring about it.
Needed to understand the why, not just be told to. That's the most important thing about any financial habit change.
Rules without reasons don't stick. Reasons without rules don't either. You need both. Section 5. Talking about money mistakes.
Some of the best conversations happen around mistakes.
Because everyone has made them, and sharing them honestly is connecting.
Phrases for talking about money mistakes naturally.
I made some decisions in my early 20s that I'm still untangling.
I went through a period of spending without really thinking, and it caught up with me.
I learned the hard way through painful experience rather than advice.
I got into debt that took me a while to get out of. It was a wake-up call.
Wake-up call, an event that forces you to face something you've been ignoring.
I used to avoid looking at my bank balance because I didn't want to know.
I thought I had more time to start saving than I actually did.
I wish someone had explained compound interest to me 20 years ago.
Compound interest, interest that grows on itself over time. A small amount saved early becomes much more. I spent a lot of money trying to keep up with people who were probably just as broke as I was.
That last one, keeping up with people who were probably just as broke?
Said with a laugh, very honest, very human.
Because so much spending is social, about appearances, about not wanting to seem like you have less.
And almost nobody talks about that until they do. And then everyone goes, yes, that was me too. Section 6. Talking about what money means to you.
The deepest level, not the habits, not the mistakes, what money actually means.
Because for most people, money is not really about money.
It's about security, freedom, options, not having to worry.
phrases that get to that level. For me, money is about options, having enough that I can make choices.
I grew up without much, and security is really important to me now.
Money doesn't make me happy, but not having enough definitely makes me anxious.
I'm trying to get to a point where I'm not thinking about it all the time.
What I want is enough, not a lot, just enough to not worry.
Enough. Not a lot, just enough to not worry.
That sentence lands differently from everyone who's ever been in a month where it was close.
Which is most people, at some point.
I try to keep money in its place. It matters, but it's not everything.
The goal isn't to be rich. The goal is to be free enough to choose how I spend my time.
Free enough to choose how I spend my time.
That's what money is really about for most people who think about it honestly.
Not the number, the freedom it represents.
Say that in a conversation and watch what happens.
People stop and think, and then say, yes, that's it exactly. Quick review. Everything in one place.
Let's bring it all home.
Know the key phrases. Overspend. Impulse buying. Put money aside. Emergency fund. Make ends meet. Stretch your budget. Tighten your belt. Splurge on. Eye-opening. Value for money.
Talk about the relationship, not the numbers. The habits, the mistakes, the feelings.
Be honest about imperfection. Everyone is figuring this out. The mistake conversation is the connecting conversation.
Name the why behind the habit, not just what you do, why you do it, and why it's hard.
Connect money to what it actually means. Options, security, freedom, not having to worry. Enough.
And never make anyone feel judged for where they are with money.
Everyone is somewhere on the journey.
And almost everyone is trying.
Final message. Your challenge today.
Before you go,
Think about your honest relationship with money right now.
build 3 sentences.
Sentence 1. One habit you have around money. Spending or saving. Be specific.
Sentence 2. One mistake you've made or thing you wish you'd done differently.
Sentence 3. What money actually means to you, not what it buys, what it represents.
Come to the comments. Share your 3 sentences.
We read every comment. We reply to every one.
Because this is a conversation worth having.
Honestly, without judgment, in English.
If this episode helped you today,
Hit subscribe. Hit the bell.
next week, how to talk about the weather in natural English.
Because in English, weather is never just weather.
It is the conversation that starts all other conversations.
I'm Sharon.
I'm Sulafat.
Keep going.
Keep growing.
And whatever your relationship with money is right now,
You're not alone in figuring it out.